Another government has been toppled by a Gen Z uprising, this time it is Madagascar. What began as protests over water and power cuts quickly escalated into anger against the entire government over things like widespread poverty, the high cost of living, and corruption. And when the president refused to resign, security forces then fired on protesters, killing 22 people and injuring over 100 more. But then the military switched sides, turning on the president and forcing him to flee to an unknown location, ending his 15 years in power. What's happened in Madagascar is the latest of a wave of Gen Z movement across the globe, from Kenya to Nepal to Bangladesh to Morocco, where young people are rising up against their governments in anger. And what's key here is that each of these movements were inspired by the ones before them, so don't be surprised if we see another Gen Z revolution in another country very soon. But as for Madagascar, what happens next is uncertain. The military has essentially taken over the entire country. They've suspended all democratic institutions and they've installed its leader as a transitional president, promising elections in 2 years. However, we've heard similar promises before fall flat. For example, in countries like Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, similar military takeovers occurred with promises of reform, but all of them have ended up in prolonged military rule. And Madagascar itself has a history of this happening, because the president who just fled himself was brought to power in a military coup in 2009, promising similar reforms. So the question now is, will this time be any different, or will this just be the latest military dictatorship in Africa?